Hey, this is BK from ManpowerWars.com here in the Bay Street Financial District in downtown Toronto, Canada, just north of Union Station. It's 11:48 a.m. on Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And totally shut down here. It's amazing to see the mighty Bay Street Toronto Financial District, the sort of financial heart of Toronto, Canada, being shut down like this. Very little traffic outside, very little traffic inside. And here, just north of Union Station, I was going to grab a quick coffee at the Starbucks, and it's for grab and go only. So what I'll do is I'll take you through a little look. It's just before lunchtime on Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, 11:48, 11:50 a.m. And promoting polite patriotism, nice ladies and gents, teach kids to be, look, talk, and feel great offline about fun or serious stuff, as opposed to acting rude and sketchy, making each other uncomfortable, then wandering around shaking near strangers. Even during a pandemic, people are still running around, like if your wife or girlfriend worked up, not explaining why, you should sort that out. What's wrong, or stop her in public. Otherwise, it makes sense for guys to do it, or guys to make other guys, or girls, or kids, or everyone to do it. So it's all basically the same, and people just kind of bother each other and run away from each other. And even during a pandemic, where you're supposed to have social distancing, stay home, stay away from people, we're still getting worked up, bothering each other, sort of like zombies, running around looking for people to bother. You're running close to you, bumping into you, rubbing up against you to force you to see them spaz out, you freak out, get worked up, touch their hair, look at their body, look at their butt, wipe their face, whatever. So anyway, I can deal with that. But right now, and men can help people stop. It's no big deal. I got lots of proof from Manpower. It's no big deal. Men can help people stop. It's no big deal. Whatever. Then people respect each other, communicate well online and especially offline, teach kids to, and then deal with stuff like this coronavirus, Covid-19 pandemic, and a bunch of other crap. Even in good times, it sucks to make each other uncomfortable, then wander around bothering strangers. You need to be on any end of that when it comes to people you know are strangers, and then make everyone put up with an act like that. But then in bad times, it becomes even worse because it's harder to talk about stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I got my keep my self-respect, don't lose mine, take anybody else's. My ManpowerWars.com site in case anybody is concerned about that and they want to help out with these efforts. Sort of Fight Club versus the Matrix, and guys thinking about being men. Who else would fight when it comes to this sort of thing? People, whether there's a real virus or not, people using this for money and control to sort of exacerbate the problem and weaken us and put us more under their control, which is a possibility. So we've got to mitigate our response or our acceptance of any government response. This is the biggest thing we've seen. Bigger than 9/11, because 9/11 happened, and then after 9/11, we were expecting possibly more, but then it calmed down and we realized that probably not too many more 9/11s coming for one reason or another. But when it comes to this sort of invisible virus, you never know what's going to happen, what's going to be announced next. If things go well, we did the right thing. If things don't go well, we didn't do enough. So maybe we've all got to be tracked and searched and drugged and chipped and so on. So we've got to mitigate a response to this while keeping our rights. And men can definitely take a leadership role on that. If it was 1,000 years ago, you wouldn't say whatever. If Nigeria was being attacked by Uganda, or Italy was being attacked by Hungary, or Japan was being attacked by Korea, or whatever, they would typically be the guys stepping up on that, right? And so on. So, and everyone's fine with it, so that's good. And ManpowerWars.com for more. Otherwise, keep my self-respect, don't lose mine, take anybody else's, just politely ignore people worked up, shaking near strangers. And I've checked, I've asked if other people want to enjoy it, they don't want to enjoy it. People get embarrassed and lie and argue and get upset and start crying, so you can't really do much. Men can stop it, otherwise you can't really say much. And so you shouldn't bother them back if they're worked up, shaking near strangers and can't explain why. Just politely ignore it, and then everyone feels better. They like being ignored, probably want to stop. It's been my experience since I was a kid. You feel better, a little self-respect, mind your business, just got out of some stressful nonsense for no reason. Other people around relax and feel better, can mind their business, or know it's safe to be nice to each other, and you can be nice to each other. Otherwise, people get more sketchy, you got to kind of sneak away from them to try and be nice and normal with each other. If they see it, they'll get worked up and force you to put up with them unless people help them stop. And then it'll make everyone do that as opposed to not when it becomes hard to do anything else except for bother people until they bother you back, and so on. So anyway, that's what's going on here. I just wanted to set up what we're going to see. And now we'll take a little tour, just to do a reorienting time check. Again, BK from ManpowerWars.com, supporters should like, see below. But it is 11:52 a.m., Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. And we'll go from there. So it's just before noon. You should see a lot of traffic. You see hundreds of people milling about, going for lunch and whatnot, but not today. Not today. So first we see here the Starbucks, and it says grab and go only. There used to be a bunch of seating back there, which they removed completely. It was sort of left there. I don't know what they're doing with that. And just to my right are the doors to Union Station. Typically hundreds of people streaming towards there. There's a food court and a whole bunch of other stuff through the doors to the left, and then to the right and straight ahead is the subways and GO trains taking you to and from downtown Toronto. And here at lunchtime it would typically be super duper busy. Again, as I said, people will still get worked up and run shaking near strangers, even during a pandemic, because of this sort of mass zombiosis thing, which men can help people stop for sure. Unless people get embarrassed, lie, argue, can't say anything, get upset, start crying. It's your wife or girlfriend. You should figure out why they're worked up, not explaining it. You say what's wrong or stop doing it in public or whatever. But well, it doesn't make any sense. So there you go. So this is also closed here. It's no relation. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. So this is your wife or girlfriend worked up, freaking out in public or whatever. I gotta get this random guy, girl, that makes any sense. Just politely ignore it. So this would be typically packed. There's food courts down that way, right? And they would typically be packed, but mostly a ghost town, from what I can tell. So there would be hundreds and hundreds of people noisily and busily milling about, happy to escape their cubicles for lunch, right? And yet closed. And these stores here are also closed, at least for the most part. And again, with the mass zombiosis, people are still getting worked up, making each other uncomfortable, then running around shaking near strangers, bumping into strangers, trying to force strangers to see them get worked up, spaz out, and pretend grumpy wife or girlfriend, even during a pandemic. That's how bad the mass zombiosis gets. So that's something you got to deal with. And again, men can help people stop. Otherwise, people get embarrassed and lie and argue and get upset, start crying, and so you just can't do anything. It just is what it is. It sucks. It sucks in good times, and it sucks during a pandemic. People can't respect each other and be nice to each other and communicate well, and help each other out or feel like it, whatever. So, all right, Indigo Spirit's still open. As you can see, it's a mix of open and closed businesses. And typically, you just try not to lose any self-respect, to take anybody else's BMS for myself or other people to put up with, and help people have self-respect if possible. So just self-respect my business. If it's on the street or on the subway, we used to, since I was a kid, people used to look at your newspaper and look away while they were running around shaking your people, run away. Everybody relax and feel better. Self-respect, mind your business, don't be a mess for other people. They like being ignored, probably want to stop instead of making you both uncomfortable, even though they bother you. Though you're not going to like it, because they worked up, can't help it, force you to put up with them. And everyone around can relax and feel better. Nobody wants to talk about this poor sketchy person shaking with strangers. And like I say, even during a pandemic, if the zombiosis gets bad enough, they still will spend all day running around shaking near hundreds of strangers, even during a coronavirus pandemic, because that's how bad this sort of zombiosis gets. So, and this jewelry store is open. So there's some mix of open and closed stores here, which is really interesting to document. Right. And again, this is the food court down there. They just worked up, want to force you to see and spaz out. Again, it doesn't matter. When the zombiosis gets bad enough, even if there's a pandemic and you're supposed to maintain social distancing, they will run near strangers all day and all night, trying to force you to see them get worked up, look ugly, pretend grumpy wife or girlfriend zombie. And so that's how bad it gets. But again, men can help people stop. Otherwise, can't say anything. Embarrassed, lie, argue, start crying. It sucks. But you have to make people uncomfortable. They have to make you uncomfortable. They have to bother somebody else. It's hard to pay attention to each other. So. So yeah, this is amazing. It's around noon, Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Happy St. Patrick's Day, BK from manfulwars.com. And it's totally deserted here in the Bay Street Financial District, the financial heart of downtown Toronto, Canada. Now, a lot of people can obviously telecommute, work from home, but it's still going to be probably some major disruptions and some major ripple effects when, it might be a real virus, but there's also only been a handful of deaths, and it really seems to be overblown for sort of money and ratings and control at the higher levels. So It used to be totally busy. Here's another Starbucks. Semi-busy. Amazing. Noon on a Tuesday in March. The weather's just getting nice. And it is empty. So this is the financial district in downtown Toronto, Canada. And it is a ghost town, except for a few, maybe polite Canadians doing this and that, and maybe some random zombieing, people worked up, shaking near strangers, running away, determined to, even if there's supposed to be a pandemic and we're all supposed to socially distance and so on. If it's your wife or girlfriend, you should figure out why they're worked up bothering strangers. Well, it don't make any sense. So it's nice, okay. Don't get mixed up. So again, a mixture of some open and closed stores. But this place would typically be filled with hundreds and hundreds of people, right? So, again, you see when the mass symbiosis gets bad enough, that's sketchy. You make everyone uncomfortable, like a pretend grumpy wife or girlfriend, and then you have to do it back, and it's kind of uncomfortable. You can't just be impotent while your wife or girlfriend's worked up, bothering you, a mess, force you to put up with them, can't say or do anything, or someone pretending, right? It's really bad for you. It's really bad for you, it's really bad for them. So you can't just pay attention to it. Someone's worked up like that, force you to put up with them, make you both uncomfortable, nothing to say or do, nothing you as an adult can do. So you have to do it back, but then when you do it back, you make each other, you bother them, then you make them uncomfortable, then you bother strangers. And then you run around shaking near hundreds of strangers a day and running away, even during a global coronavirus pandemic. Like still, even during a pandemic, they still want to run up close to you and bump into you and rub up against you and force you to see them work out, spaz out, right? I don't think we're retarded people. They're the smartest people in Canada. It's basically a financial district. So there is another open store there. So, but man can help people stop. Otherwise, can't say anything. You get embarrassed, lie, argue, get upset, start crying. It's nice. Just politely ignore it. Let everybody happier. So nobody bothered anybody. Most respect you can show. So they'll finish shaking your people and run away. You'll like it. It might be ignored. Probably want to stop. Have a little self-respect. It'll be a mess for your kids, family, friends, other people. And everybody around can relax and feel better. So, okay, less better and more. Mind your business, or you can be nice to each other. The chairs are all gone here. This is amazing. This would typically be packed with people milling about, going to this place and that. So there you have it. Oh, no relation. If it's your wife or girlfriend, you figure out why they're worked up, shaking, not explaining it or whatever. Well, it didn't make any sense. Just politely ignore it. Don't bother them. Self-respect, mind your business. So, you can see some stores open, some not. Well, it doesn't matter. Even if there's a pandemic, they're still walking around shaking near hundreds of people a day, bumping into people, trying to force people to look at them, see them spaz out. They pretend grumpy, sketchy wife or girlfriend. It's worked up, bother you for no reason. Make you both uncomfortable. So this is a food court. And on St. Patrick's Day, Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, around noonish, the place is very, very, very quiet, except for a handful of people. This place would be typically packed. Subway's open, hello. And amazing. Tim's got it going on a bit. So, well, no, it's okay. Can't help it explain. Oh, it's been a mess. It's gonna make it all people stop. Otherwise, you can't really say anything. You get embarrassed, lie, argue, or whatever. Oh, no, poor sketchy person shaking near strangers. Oh, it doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. They still want to run close to you and bump into you and force you to see them look ugly and get worked up and bother you. They don't care about anything. They make everyone uncomfortable. And they run around trying to force strangers to put up with them. Now, if it's your wife or girlfriend, you should figure out why they're worked up. If they're not explaining it, what's wrong, or hey, can you calm down? We're in public, it'll make everyone uncomfortable, but it don't make any sense. So why they worked up, force you to put up with them, know you're not going to like it, make it hard to talk to each other, you wander around shaking near strangers. So, but yeah, pretty wild, eh? So, you make it help people stop. It's okay. You see Manpower's at a conference, you can't bother it. You lose self-respect, take somebody else's, or people get embarrassed, lie, argue, start crying. So you can't. It's okay. It sucks. But you have to bother people, bother you, and you can't look at each other and run around, try to force strangers to put up with you, and run away. Even during a coronavirus pandemic, they don't care. They still want to run bumping into strangers, rubbing up against them, trying to force you to put up with them. That's how bad it gets. That's how bad it gets. Right? I used to be people who get sketchy, you just look away, they get embarrassed and stop. So they keep going, so you have to look away more, and you have to hold something up. They keep trying to force you to, and then this is what happens. All they care about is running around shaking near strangers and running away, even during a pandemic, right? So that's the issue. So these people like Canadians, obviously. The kid grows up bothering people, making them uncomfortable, and wandering around shaking near strangers. That's something happen. So, but if it gets that bad, make it help people stop. People are embarrassed, lie, argue, upset, start crying. You're just like, yuck. And not even your wife or girlfriend. It doesn't make any sense. It's okay. You just gotta let them finish shaking near everybody and running away. Hopefully it's not too bad. They don't sneeze on you, cough on you, or anything. Whatever. It's a free country. Shoppers Drug Mart's open. Well, that's good. It's going to be some... Not getting much info on nutrition and vitamin C and blah, 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 immune system boosting stuff. It's more just sort of wash your hands and stay away from each other. So there's a bunch of funny stuff about this. So... But yeah, you can see, it used to be totally... now we get... Again, they don't care when it comes to running around shaking near strangers. Even during a pandemic, they will run around shaking near hundreds of people a day if they've got the mass zombiosis thing going. It's a pretend sketchy wife or girlfriend zombie. Doesn't make any sense. Force you to put up with them. But you're not going to like it, like they're mad at you or something. It doesn't make any sense. They run around shaking near strangers. So, yeah, you can see. It's mostly closed, but some places are open. Some heroic retailers, or some sensible retailers, or whatever. A mix of this and that. But this is amazing. This is the heart of the downtown Toronto, Canada financial district, or the financial sector in Canada. This is like Wall Street in New York in comparison. And you can see, very, very, very quiet. So, wife or girlfriend, you figure out why they're shaking if they're not explaining it, but otherwise it doesn't make any sense. It don't make it seem. Just politely ignore it. With self-respect, mind your business. Everyone feels better. So this is amazing. You see, this becomes the mass zombiosis, right? Formerly polite Canadian, but someone acted sketchy, made them zombie, they acted sketchy back, and now they run around shaking near strangers and running away, even in a pandemic. They just want to get worked up, force you to put up with them and run away, force you to see them spaz out, look ugly, get worked up. They also like being ignored and want to stop. So just have a little self-respect, mind your business, don't be a mess. And everyone around can relax and feel better. And so the best thing is politely ignore it. Oh, it's a shame. When it gets that bad, they don't care if there's a pandemic going on or whatever. They run around shaking near strangers or running away or bump into you, force you to see them look ugly, and put up with them. So, yeah, you can see here. It's really quiet. Used to be super duper busy. Typical St. Patrick's Day, Bay Street Financial District, this place would be popping. But nope. So, gets your wife or girlfriend worked up, shaking near people, make you uncomfortable, you should figure out why. Say what's wrong, or hey, calm down, we're in public. Otherwise, they don't do. They just make everyone uncomfortable. They run around shaking near strangers. Even if there's a coronavirus pandemic, they don't care. They still want to come close to you, force you to see them look ugly. They know you're not going to like it. They have to force you to put up with them. They get worked up, bother you. And so that's a real problem, in good times and in bad, right? In good times, it's a problem, because it just makes everything suck more. When you make people uncomfortable, when they're happy or busy or whatever, you just force them to put up with you and make everyone quiet and uncomfortable. And in bad times, it makes it even tougher, because then it's hard to talk about things like, the coronavirus pandemic. What's an appropriate response? Should it be just do anything you want to us? We're scared, or should it be no? Hold on a second. So, but it's okay. Man can help people stop that. This is sketchy. Bother each other, make each other uncomfortable, run around, bother strangers. You just can't say anything. People get embarrassed, lie, argue, get upset, start crying. So you just gotta let them. You just have to bother them back, maybe in self-defense, and make them run away from you, and then they can run around shaking near strangers, or help people stop. Eventually, it'll happen to you too. You'll keep getting worse and worse. Anyway, that's all people can do, is bother people. They make it hard to do anything else. They bother people more. It's supposed to be nice people. They make it easy to be nice people. They don't care if there's a coronavirus pandemic. They will run around shaking near strangers and running away. They will bump into you. They'll rub up against you. They'll force you to see and get worked up. And it's not even your wife or girlfriend. It doesn't make any sense. If it's your grumpy wife or girlfriend who's worked up and not explaining why, then you should sort that out. But it's not even your grumpy wife or girlfriend. So that's why don't lose your self-respect. Take anybody else's. Have to toque and shades and newspaper or whatever. So just to make sure. But otherwise, that's what happens. Right? You'll end up wandering around. Even when you're supposed to have social distancing and keep your distance, they'll still run up close to you, force you to see them, get worked up, look ugly, make you both uncomfortable. Right? You don't like it. That's what I'm saying. Look at this. It's a ghost town here. It's super dead. And the zombiosis can get so bad that people will still run up shaking near strangers and running away. Right? No, the virus might be not that bad, whatever. But probably shouldn't get it, probably shouldn't pass it on, But either way, why you run up bumping into strangers, shaking near strangers, running away, forcing them to put up with you? So that's the issue. Then again, make it help people stop. They always can't say anything. People get embarrassed and lie and argue and start crying, get upset. It's okay. You can see just a fraction of the amount of people. So, it's no relation to it. It's not. If it's your wife or girlfriend who's worked up not explaining why, you should get to the bottom of that. Well, it don't make any sense. They just make you both uncomfortable. Maybe you bother them back to make them run away from you, and they just run around shaking near strangers and running away, even during a pandemic. So, that's what happens. Wild. So this is the Bay Street Financial District. Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'd say this isn't even like 1/10 of people. That's what they're like. They're shaking near strangers. They don't care what anyone's doing. Even if there's a pandemic, they make everyone uncomfortable. So you can't do much with them. And they run around trying to force strangers to put up with it. No, it's okay. What are you supposed to do? Bother them back? No, it's fine. Everybody feels better. It won't be a mess. It bothers me. It happens. So this is like 1% of people. I'd say 1/100th of the number of people is here, right? And even that might be generous because you're just seeing one every few meters. So the flower shop's still open. That's nice. Bring out your dead. Yeah, I would say less than 1% of people are here. This is amazing. So people are clearly scared by the coronavirus pandemic, which is fine, or take a chance to have a vacation or whatever. It's open. That's good. Treats. And so, it's good to be sensible. But yet people are still also running and shaking near strangers and running away, trying to force strangers to put up with them, bumping into them, force you to see them look ugly and run away. So that's how bad the zombiosis is. So it's important to get that point, as polite Canadians and other people around the world where this is going on, to say, offline, it's important to deal with that too, because otherwise, what's going to happen? Bother people, bother you, run away, shaking near strangers, even with a pandemic going on. So well, it becomes an issue. Well, yeah, if it's your wife or girlfriend, you should figure out why they're worked up if they're not explaining it. You say what's wrong, or let's talk about it later. We're in public. Well, they just run around shaking with people. You know, if there's a coronavirus epidemic, no matter the pandemic, it's supposed to stay with you. They will run around, come close to you, force you to see them look ugly, bump into you, make you uncomfortable, or they enjoy being ignored, probably want to stop. And just have a little politely ignore it. Self-respect, mind your business. Best thing. Yeah, you feel better, self-respect, don't be a mess. Everyone around can relax. You know, they like being ignored. Well, make it help people stop. I can't say anything, do anything. It's, comfortable, lie, argue, embarrassed, upset. But they don't care if there's a pandemic. They will run around shaking near hundreds of strangers a day and force you to put up with them. Like a pretend grumpy wife or girlfriend zombie. Who's just mad at you, force you to put up with them, knows you're not going to like it, knows it's going to be awful. And they'll just do it anyway. So, but yeah, I'd say less than 1% of people here. Amazing. Less than 1% of people. Right here on Bay Street. Crazy. Oh, no, it's a zombie. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. They run near strangers shaking and run away. It's okay. Well, not personal. What are you supposed to do? Bother them back? It's okay. So you self-respect, mind your business. And everybody feels better. You politely ignore it. They'll finish shaking near everybody where you are. On the subway, streetcar, whatever. Oh, they'll finish shaking near everybody. You just politely ignore it.
Hey, sir?
Yeah?
Hi, bud. You can't record the building.
Oh, okay. I'm just documenting journalism, manpowers.com, the lack of people here. But sure, I'll shut it off.
All right, perfect. Thank you very
No
much.
problem. I'll have to eat there. No big deal. Now, people do selfies and stuff. But all right. Anyway, so security guys, I think they're just bothering people. They have a job to do, so I'll get out of here and go north to the Eaton Center. But that's what happens. Oh, you'll end up like that. You'll end up running around shaking near strangers, even during a pandemic. So just have a little self-respect, mind your business. Don't be a mess. Bother with me. All right. So yeah, less than 1% of people here. Anyway, you got a representative idea. So what could this mean for the economy in the coming months? Right? The virus might kill, a couple of thousand old people, who are like already 80 and already half dead from something else, and they just say the virus did it, or the virus contributed to it. But what will the rest of this do? This economic kind of whatever. Oh. So yeah, less than 1% of people here on Bay Street. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Yeah, the polite Canadians, that can help people stop. Just make sure people respect each other, communicate well, instead of making each other uncomfortable and then running around shaking near strangers, even during a pandemic. Even during a pandemic where over 99% of people are staying home, they still get worked up, force you to see them look ugly, run shaking near you and run away, bump into you, force you to see them look ugly. If it's your wife or girlfriend, you should figure that out. Don't get me wrong. If your wife or girlfriend worked up, not explaining why, especially in public, say what's wrong, or hey, calm down, don't freak out in public, make everyone uncomfortable. Let's talk about it later. Well, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why I end up shaking near strangers and running away. So, well, they don't care. You can't say no thanks. They don't care. Even if there's a pandemic, you're supposed to stay away from people. They will spend all day running around and bumping into and shaking near and